So coming to the borders also, I told you that you can use the border to the any element of your choice in the HTML. So for that you have the different properties that you can use to set the border. So you can go for using the border style to specify which kind of the border you want to set, that is either solid, dotted, dash, double, and so on. And you can also specify the thickness of the border with the property border width, and you can also specify the color of the border with the property border color, and you can set the border radius as a property in order to take the corners of the border as a round, right? So curved corners of the border. And lastly, you can use the images also as a border in case if the images are visible to be used as a borders to the any content. Okay. So coming to that, we have also seen that what is the difference between the margin and the padding in case when you are using the borders for the any elements. Okay. So coming to the next property over here, suppose if you have used the background color or else if you have used the background images or the borders. So whatever the content that you have used to fill into that backgrounds, so if that content is going to be overflowed over there, as in this case you can see here, there is a background color that has been set to the content, but the content is much larger as to the size that you have taken for the background, right? So in that case you have the several options to specify that what needs to be done with the overflowed content here. Whether you want to make that overflowed content visible, you can go for using the overflow property with the value visible. So this is going to get you in this, though it is going to show you the background, along with that whatever the content that is going to be overflowed, that will be visible here. Yeah, am I audible, right? You people are able to hear what I'm telling you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Coming to the next option to the overflow property here is, if you do not want the content that is overflowed with respect to the background that you have set, so you can hide it by using the hidden value to the overflow property. So this is going to show you in this way. So it is only going to show you the content that is going to fit into the background that you have set, right? So in case if you want to set the only the to the background that you have set along with the content also to be hidden, and it has to be visible when the user is going to scroll with the help of the scroll bar. So even that can also be done by using the overflow property with the scroll value here. So in this image you can see here, whatever the default content that can be fit to the background that you have used, that is going to be visible, but the overflow content is going to be hidden, but it can be visible using the scrolls that you have set. But how you will be able to use this by using the overflow property with the scroll value over here, right? The overflow with the auto is also going to do the same thing, where it is not going to restrict the size of the background that you have used. Instead, automatically it is going to reconsider the size to make the content to be fit along with by providing the scrolls over here, right? So let's see these things with an example. So how to use them, correct? So you can see here within the style I have used these properties for the division here, correct? So for the division, the properties that we have used here is the background color is pink, the width of the background needs to be 200 pixel in terms of the horizontal size, and the height is 50 pixel, and the border is 1 pixel with a dotted this is how you can use the all the properties to all the values to the properties together to the border, right? So the width of the border is 1 pixel, the style of the border is dotted, and the color of the border is black here, correct? So the one value that you have used for this is overflow as a scroll. So instead of visible or the hidden, we have used it as a scroll. And here you can see the content that we have taken for the division value here, right? So we'll run this and we'll get to know how this overflow scroll is going to work over here. Is this visible to you? You can see here the horizontal size that we have considered in the example was 200 pixel. The height is 50 pixel, and you can see the background color that we have set is pink, and the this one, the border line is the dotted, right? So since we have used the overflow property for this, the value for which is scroll, so you can see the whatever the default says that we have taken, the content is going to be default, but when you scroll it down you'll be able to see the rest of the content as well. Okay, so I'll just show you the difference what happens if we change that to the other properties here, for of other values to the overflow property here. Okay, right now I'm changing it. I have just changed it to the overflow property with the value hidden here. So let's see what does difference does it make here. So you can see here the scroll bar is not at all visible here. Instead, whatever the content that is overflowed to this border that you have set, or the background that you have set, everything will be hidden. Neither it is going to be visible. It is just going to show you the whatever the content that is going to fit into the background that you have set. Okay. So we'll use the one more property as well, which is the visible, and we'll see what does the difference does it going to make. So the overflow property has been set with the value as a visible now. I'll rerun that program. So you can see here. So if you use the overflow property with the value visible, so whatever the content that is going to fit into the background that you have used, that is going to be visible over there. So the rest of the content is going to be shown as it is overflowing to the background here. So this is how it is going to make a difference if you use the background along with the overflow property. So it is left you as your creativity that how you can best use this overflow property. Is everyone clear what else it is going to make difference and when it is going to make action for using the overflow property? Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Screen is visible to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So few more examples has been given in your book just to make you clear that what are the different values that you can take for the margin and the background or the width and the height. So you can take it in terms of the percentage, which is going to be relatively with the window size that is being considered by the browser. And you can also even take in terms of the pixel values, which is going to be fixed with the pixel values. And you can go for using the percentage as well. Right. So I'm not going to explain these. You can always use these values with the different use these properties with the different values units. Yeah, so experiment with all these properties with the different kind of the values, so that you will get to know how does they are going to make difference if you use them with the different values here. Okay. So coming to the last two styles that we are going to discuss as a part of this module here. So CSS text styling, it is with respect to the text information that you want to take into the HTML, right? So what are the different properties that you can set here? So in general, you can take it as only font to include the rest of the properties here. So the font may be used to specify the font family, size, style, variant, and weight together into the single property known as a property here. Sorry, font here. Okay. So the second property is the font family to specify the which family of the font you can consider. Say you have the many families that we can use. Okay, so you'll get to know once I discuss the example here. Right. So the exactly the same way how you use it in the word processor to specify the which font family that you want to use, that is whether the Times New Roman, Arial, and so on, right? So there are the many font families values that are specified, which you can use with the font family property here. So coming to the font size is with respect to the size of the font, and font style is with respect to the whether whether you want it as a italic or the oblique or normal. So the three values that you can use for the font styles are italic, oblique, and normal. And how does it is going to make difference with these values, we will see when we run the program. Okay, so font variant is the property which specifies that either whether you want the text to be as a small caps or the none. Right. So whether you want everything into the lowercase letters, then you can go for using the font variant with the small caps as a value. That's coming to the last one is the font weight, which tells what is the boldness of the font or the text. So specify whether it is either normal, bold, bolder, lighter, or the values between the 100 and the 900 in the multiples of the 100. So which tells the how much thickness of the text to be included to the font. Right. So these all are the font properties that you can use with respect to the text. Okay, so together I'll explain the both the properties, that is the font and the letter properties are there next. So right now I'll just discuss you different properties that can be used with the text here. Okay, so this is an example that how different values you can use for setting the font size here. Right, so you can use the font size in terms of the percentage, which is with respect to the browser setting values. So the font size you can use it with the unit em with a numeric value, and font size em you can see at the numeric value. So you can also use it in the point as well. Okay, so this is how it has been made different. So you can see at the body, the content of the body should have the 100% size with respect to the browser setting values, and the paragraph has the 1 em, h3 has 1.125 em, h2 1.5 em, and h1 again 2 em here. So you can see at the all the values that has been set here. So you can experiment to get to know that how does it is going to make difference if you are going to use the different units and the different values here. Okay, so coming to the text properties that you can use here. So along with these font properties related to the font size, font style, font family, you also have these additional properties that you can use here. So the letter spacing is the one property where you can use in order to specify how much space you want to leave between the each letters of a word over there. Right. So by default, you are going to get it in the exactly the same way, whatever the settings that has been used by the browser. But if you want to modify it, or if you want to give your own way of providing the space between the each letter of the text, at that time you can go for using the letter spacing, for which you can give the values in terms of the numeric followed by the pixel as a unit. Okay, so the line height specifies the space between the base lines here. So vertically, what should be the height of the letters? Right. So list style image, these list style image, list style type, both these properties are with respect to the lists that you are going to create using either the OL or the UL. Okay, so what does the list style image, why does the list style image property is used? If you want to take the image as a listing property there, then you can go for using the list style image. So if you want to, you can you might have observed when you have worked with the list, when you have used the unordered list, probably you by default the browser has given you as the bullets to be used for creating the list, and if you have used the ordered list, only the numeric value has been given as a values for creating the list, isn't it? So if you want to change these default settings, you can go for using the list type, where you can list style type, where you can give the different values. So what values you can use for these properties, I'll explain you once I discuss the programs. Okay. So the text align is with respect to whether you want the text to be aligned to the left, right, or the center, or to be justified. Okay, so you can use the text align property with the values left, where if you want the text to be aligned to the left position, if you want to set it to the right position or the center, or to just justify. Okay. So one more property that you can use for the text is the text decoration, where you can specify whether you want to put a underline to the text, whether you want to put a line above the text, or whether you want to put a line over the text. So for this, you can go for using the values as a underline, overline, or the above. So these are the possible values that you can use to specify where you want to put the line over the text in case if you want to use it. Okay. So the text direction is specifies the direction of the text to be displayed, that is whether to the left to right or the right to left. Text intent is the property to specify the basically this text indent mostly used for the paragraph element itself. Why? Because whenever you create a paragraph, it is a usual notation of the grammar that the first line of the paragraph has to leave some space as compared to the rest of the lines. So that is provided with the text indent property, where you can use it with some pixel values to be specified, right? So text shadow is the one where you can create a text followed by the some 2D or 3D dimensional shadows to be applied. Okay, so I'll show you it in an example only. So text transform is which changes this property can be used to change the capitalization of the text. So the possible values for this property is capitalize, where you are going to specify that all the text has to appear in the capital letters. One another possible value is lowercase, to specify that all the text under this property has to come in the lowercase letters. And the capitalized is the one where you are going to consider the text to appear the only the first letter of the each word in a capital. Right, so the lowercase is going to make the text to appear all the letters in the lowercase, whereas the uppercase value is going to specify the all the letters to appear in the uppercase. But the capitalize, it is going to make only the first letter of the each word to appear as a capital letter. Okay, so vertical align in the sense where you can specify, if you have the text into the some other container, if you want to specify whether the vertical sorry, the text has to appear at the top or the bottom or the middle, you can go for using the vertical hyphen align as a property with the values either be top, bottom or the middle. So as with the letter spacing, where you can specify the space between the letters, you can also specify the space between the words of a sentence as well, using the word spacing as a property, right? So you for to this you can again use the values in terms of the pixel, numeric value with the unit as a pixels here. Okay, so let's see all these with the examples now. All these properties, either these properties, font properties or the text properties with the examples. Yeah, this is one where we have used this example to demonstrate you the font properties, how they can be used. So you can see here the two styles has been defined here to the paragraph content, that is p dot a and p dot b, right? So to the p dot a, you can see here the font family property has been used. As I told you that this property is used to set the font families to the text that can be used with this paragraph here, right? So you can see here three values has been specified here. So not mandatorily to be three values to be used, you can use the any number of the values to be used, but always it is recommended that use more than one value. Why? Because what happens here, the browser is going to first check whether the Times New Roman is being supported by that browser or not. Then if it is being supported, it is going to be applied. In case if this value is not being supported by the browser, then it will check for the next value. Even if this second value is also not being supported by the browser, then it will go for the third value, right? So for this, always it would be better if you use the more than one value to the font family here. Okay. So coming to the font size, as I told you, you have the different values to be used. You can use for it. You can use it in terms of the percentage. You can use it in terms of the pixel for the numeric value. You can use the even the EM as a unit for the numeric value. So choice is left to you. You can experiment with the each of the values to get to know that how does it is going to make difference if you use the different units for the font size here. So in this case, the font size has been used as a 15 pixel, and you can see the font style property is used to specify the either the value whether the oblique or the italic or the normal. So here in this case, we have taken the example of the italic. And the font variant, as I told you, if you want to make it all everything to appear as a small capital letters, so capital, it is going to make everything to appear as a capital letters, but the font size of those capital letters is going to be small as compared to the rest of the default size over there. So you'll get to know once I run this program. And the font weight being the bold, normal, bolder, right? So in that case, you can use the any value of your choice, whatever you want to apply to that text over there, right? So in the second example or the second style, you can see a font family with the different values has been used. So to get to know what are the different values that are being supported for the font family, you can go for the WW3 consortium website and just type it as the different values for the font family. You will get to know the what are the different values that you can take for the font family property here. Right. So you can see here in this font size, instead of the pixel value, we have taken the large as a value. So which is going to be decided by the browser settings again here. Right. So the font style, instead of the italic, here it has been taken as a oblique, and font weight, simply you can take the multiples of the hundreds here. So here it has been taken as a 900. Okay. So let us see how does it is going to be applied if we execute this program. Okay, you can see here how this has been appeared here. So the first one has been so the first one has been applied with the font family as the Times New Roman, and the size of this font family property, that is the just a minute, the size of this font, this text is 15 pixel. Sorry, just a minute here. If you have observed the code properly, this is the one which has been not applied with the any styles, H1. Right, so the H1 heading has been not applied with the any styles. Instead, it has just displayed exactly the same way how it has been written here. Right. So to this text, what is appearing as this is a paragraph shown in the Times New Roman font is the one which has been applied with the styles that has been defined with the property A, class A. Right. So for which font family is Times New Roman, and the font size is 15 pixel. And I am pointing the cursor on the text line for which I am telling you the what styles has been applied here. Right. So font style is italic. You can see it is appearing in the italic, and you can see the font variant property has been set with the value small caps. You can see here all the letters from this entire text or the entire sentences in the capital letters, but the size of the each letter is small as compared to the rest of the text. Right. So the font weight for this text is the bold, so that's why it is appearing in the bold. Right. So similarly for this, so for the next sentence here, the font family that is being set here is Arial, and the font size is large. So since you take it as a large, it is left to the browser that what value is going to be considered for the large. And the font style for here is oblique, instead of the italic it is a oblique. Again, you can see here what kind of the appearance is made for this text as compared to the italic. And the font weight here, you have mentioned here it as a 900, instead of the uh, word as a bold or the thick, here you have used it as a 900, which is a multiple of 100 for multiple of the hundreds. And how does it is going to the make difference here. Okay, so got to know how you can use the font properties. So not only to the paragraph, you can use it for the headings, paragraphs, divisions, or the even the lists. So wherever you use the text for anything, you can use this property to be set with the appropriate values over there. Okay, so am I clear with this example? Am I clear with this example, or else do you want me to explain anything else once more?
Clear, ma'am.
Clear, everyone?
Yes,
Okay. So coming to the next example of the text properties, we will see how the values can be considered for the each properties here. So you can see here for the H1, H2, and H3. So for the three headings, we have used these properties with the different values just to make you clear how does it is going to make difference with the different values here. Right. So for the H1, you can see here the text align property has been used. So these has to be used in the same way as text hyphen align. So what are the possible values that you can take for the text align is either center, left or right. So you can see here for H1 the text align has been taken as a center. To the H2 the text align value has been taken as a left, and for the H3 the text align text has been value has been taken as a right. Right. So similarly, text decoration, as I told you, the text decoration is used to put the lines over the text or below the text or the above the text, for which you can see again for the H1 the text decoration value has been taken as the overline. So that means this is going to put a line on the text itself. Okay, so we'll get to know once I execute this. This value is going to put a line on the text itself. And for H2 you can see, so the same property has been taken as a line through, sorry, this overline is going to put the line above the text, whereas the line through is going to take the text on the text itself. And similarly for H3 the text decoration has been taken as the underline, which is going to put a line below the text. Okay, so other properties are text transform. So all the text of this H1 is going to be converted into the uppercase. So text transform is going to, though no matter in whichever the form that you have typed the text, everything will be converted into the capital letters. Okay. So the letter spacing, the space between the each letter, you have set it to the 3 pixel, and text intent is the line of the text is going to begin by leaving the 50 pixel from the left side. Okay. So similarly here text transform for H2 is the lowercase case. Text transform value has been taken with the lowercase. That means everything will be converted to the lowercase letters here. And the word spacing property has been set by using the 30 pixel value. That means the space between the each word is going to be each word of this sentence of the H2 is going to leave the 30 pixel space in between. Okay, so the line height is here 200%. You'll get to know how that is going to make difference once we execute this. Okay, so coming to the other properties, you can see here, as I told you, the list style types has to be used with the list properties, list elements itself. You can see the ul dot a, that means you want to use the list style type as a circle, and ul dot b, here you have used it for, here you have used the list style type as a square. That means you, instead of the bulletin, you want to make this as appear as a either circle or the square. So you have differentiated here with the a and b to specify which one you want to use at the time of the list creation. So similarly you can see here for the ordered list, you can specify the list style type as a upper Roman instead of the numeric value. If you want to take the Roman values, and even in the Roman also you have the two types, upper hyphen Roman and the lower hyphen alpha. So alphabet values can also be used. So here you have differentiated with the C and D to tell that which styles to be used, right? So in the body part, you can see here H1, H2, H3 are not specified with the any styles. Why? Because here you have directly defined the styles within the style element, where all these H1 is going to be applied with all these properties, and H2 will be applied with all these properties, and even H3 will be applied with all these properties automatically, right? Here you have taken with the class selectors here to the unordered list and the ordered list. So you need to specify them. You can see here while creating this ul, you can see class is equal to a has been taken. That means this list will be having the circle as a notation, and here it has been taken class is equal to b. That means this list is going to have the square as a bullets to the notation. And ordered list, here it has been taken class is equal to c, which is going to take the upper Roman to be indications here. And similarly for that class is equal to d, it is going to take the lower alpha as a notations over there. Okay, so now we'll run this program and we will see how does it is going to make difference. Okay, did everyone understood that how you can use these properties with the respective values? Okay, so depending upon your choice, that whichever the properties or the styles that you want to apply, you can use these. But you should know that the name of the properties and what values you can use for the each properties here. Okay. Is this execution visible to you people? Are you able to see this?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so what has been done here for the H1? H1, you can see this is the H1 heading 1 center, for which the text align is the center. So it is appearing exactly in the center, isn't it? And the text decoration is the overline, for which you can see here the line has been taken above the text here. I'm repeating the what properties has been set for this particular text here, heading 1, which is appearing in the center, right? So the decoration for which is the overline, text decoration. That's why you are able to see the line over the text, right? So the text transform property has been used with the uppercase here. So that's why you are able to see the each letter in the capital form, right? So the letter spacing is the 3 pixel, and that's why you are able to see the some space between the 3 pixels of the space between the each letter of this word here, correct? And the text indent is the 50 pixels. Since you have used here the text alignment as a center, so this property is not going to be applied here. Okay, so coming to the next, that is the heading 2. You can see here this is the heading 2 text that has been included, and for which you have set the text align property as with the value left. So the text align has been used as a left, so that's why you are able to see this entire text to the leftmost position of the screen here. And the text decoration property has been set with the value line through. So line through in the sense it is going to put a line over the text itself. That's why you are able to see the line over the text here. And the text transform for this text is the lowercase, so that's why you are able to see the each letter of this text into the lowercase letters. And the word spacing property has been set for this heading as a 30 pixel. That's why you are able to see the space between the each word is a 30 pixel here. So between the heading and 2, the 30 pixel space has been left, and between the 2 and the left, the 30 pixel space has been left here. Okay, so similarly for the heading 3, so where is the heading 3? This is the heading 3 here. So what properties has been set for this heading 3 is the text alignment is right. So the text align property has been used with the right value. That's why you are able to see this entire text to the rightmost position. And the text decoration is underlined. So that's why you're able to see the line below the text here. The value to the under text decoration property is underlined. So that's why you are able to see the line below the text here. And the text transform property has been used with the value capitalize here. So to earlier two headings, it is the uppercase here and this is the lowercase here. And to this, you have the value as a capitalize, for which you are able to see the each letter of the word is in the uppercase letters. For the heading, H is the uppercase, and for the right, you can see R is the uppercase here. Okay. So the line height is 200%, which is going to be fixed with the relative to the browser settings here. Okay. So is everyone clear with these three things? Okay, so coming to the next, where you have created a list, right? So the first list you have used with the circle as a notation. You can see here, this is the first list, coffee, tea, and Coca-Cola, which has been specified the circle as a list style type to be used here. So list style type property has been used with a value circle, for which you are able to see the circle as a notations here. So follow to that, the list style type for this list that you have used here is the square, for which you are able to see the square as a bullets here. Okay, so you people are following, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Uh,
ma'am.
So coming to the next example for the ordered list, where you have created the two styles to be applied. One is the uppercase Roman and another one is the lower alpha. Right. So I told you that whenever you use the list style type property, that has to be used with the list elements itself. You are not supposed to use with the paragraph or the any other elements division or the any heading elements, because it is not going to make much difference over there. These are meant to be used for only for the list elements only, right? So for this example you have used it as a upper Roman case, right? So that's why you are able to see here, instead of 1, 2, and 3, it has been taken the Roman numbers here, right? So meanwhile here you can see the next one is with the lower alpha, right? So the lower alpha, in the sense, in this you are going to see the lowercase alphabet as a notations to be used for listing these ordered list over there, right? So if I change these values to the lower Roman and the upper alpha, we'll see how does it is going to the make difference here. I'll set it as a lower Roman and the upper alpha. That is exactly opposite to what we have just now defined. I'll just rerun it. I have changed it. So you can see here I have executed it once again. You can see this is the lower Roman and this is the upper alpha. So as and whenever you want to apply these styles, you can use it with the specific element wherever you want to apply these styles. So is everyone clear with this? Is everyone clear with this?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So coming to the one more example of the property as a shadow, right? So text shadow. To this text shadow, you can see here for the, I have taken only the H1 element to be applied as an example just to show you. Text shadow property followed by the values that you have to take is you have to specify the how the shadow has to appear. What is the vertical positioning of the shadow to appear and what is the horizontal. So the first value is going to be the 4 pixel as a horizontal value and this is a vertical value and followed by the color of the shadow that has been taken in the hexadecimal notation here, right? So the name of the property is text shadow followed by the values are the three. The first value represents the horizontal value for the shadow and vertical value for the shadow and the color for the shadow over here, right? So we'll run this and we'll see how does it is going to appear here. Okay, so you can see here to this one it has been applied. Right, so internet, one more note has been given here. Internet Explorer 9 or the earlier do not support the text shadow property, right? So that's why I told you you experiment all these examples with the Chrome itself because all the HTML5 properties are mostly supported by the Chrome only. Okay, so you can see here the text shadow property is a text, and below that you can see the shadow that is being appearing here, right? So we'll try to change the values and we'll see how does it is going to make difference here. Instead of 4 pixel, I'll take it as a 20 pixel here, and I'll just rerun it. But it is going to appear entirely below the text itself, right? So you can experiment and see it how does it is going to make difference, right? So instead of 4 pixel, I'll just take it as a 3 pixel. Okay, so it is appearing as a shadow. So you can change the values and you can experiment to get to know that how does this is going to make difference for all these properties or the values here. Okay, so am I clear with all these examples? Am I clear with all these examples?
Yes, ma'am.